Welcome back in part 4 of Ford. Anyways, let's continue this topic. Ford Motor Company sells a broad range of automobiles under the Ford mark worldwide and an additional range of luxury automobiles under the Lincoln mark in the United States.
The company has sold vehicles under a number of other marques during its history.
The Mercury brand was introduced by Ford in 1939, continuing in production until 2011, when poor sales led to its discontinuation.
In 1958, Ford introduced the Edsel brand, but poor sales led to its discontinuation in 1960.
In 1985, the Mercury brand was introduced in the United States to market products produced by Ford of Europe. It was discontinued in 1989. Ford acquired the British sports car maker Aston Martin in 1989, later selling it on March 12, 2007, although retaining an 8% stake.
Ford purchased Volvo Cars of Sweden in 1999, selling it to ZG and Geely Holding Group in 2010.
In November 2008, it reduced its 33.4% controlling interest in Mazda of Japan to a 13.4% non-controlling interest.
On November 18, 2010, Ford reduced their stake further to just 3%, citing the reduction of ownership would allow greater flexibility to pursue growth in emerging markets.
Ford and Mazda remain strategic partners through exchanges of technological information and joint ventures, including an American joint venture plant in Flat Rock, Michigan called Auto Alliance.
In 2015, Ford sold its remaining 3% stake in Mazda.
Ford sold the United Kingdom-based Jaguar and Land Rover companies and brands to Tata Motors of India in March 2008. On April 25, 2018, Ford announced that it planned to phase out all but one of its North American automobile models. The Mustang will be the sole surviving model, to focus primarily on pickup trucks and SUVs.
Ford had also planned to introduce an active crossover version of the next-generation Focus, but canceled those plans due to tariff issues between the United States and China.
Ford has produced trucks since 1908, beginning with the Ford Model TT, followed by the Model AA and the Model BB.
Countries where Ford commercial vehicles are or were formerly produced include Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, also badged as Mercury, France, Germany, India, Netherlands, Philippines, Spain, badged Ebro 2, Turkey, UK, badged also Ford San Thames, and the United States.
From the 1940s to the late 1970s, Ford's Ford F-Series was used as the base for light trucks for the North American market. Most of these ventures are now extinct.
The European one that lasted longest was the Lorries Arma Ford of Britain, which became part of the Iveco Group in 1986.
Ford had a minority share in the new company, and Iveco took over sales and production of the Ford cargo range.
Ford's last significant European truck models were the Transcontinental and the Cargo.
At the end of 1996, Ford sold the rights to its heavy trucks division to the Freightliner Trucks division of Daimler AG, with Ford producing the Cargo, Louisville, and Aeromax through the 1998 model year.
During the 1998 model year, Freightliner began production of its own versions of Ford-developed trucks in St. Thomas, Ontario, launching the Sterling truck brand.
Slotted between Freightliner and Western Star, Sterling trucks were produced through 2009. Line of heavy trucks, made by Ford for the North American market. Ford F-Series. Big Job, 1951 to 1957.
Super Duty / Extra Heavy Duty, 1958 to 1962. Ford M Series, 1963 to 1969.
Ford L Series trucks, 1970 to 1998. AKA Ford, Louisville line.
Ford Aeromax, 1988 to 1998.
Ford Louisville, 1996 to 1998.
Sterling, 1998 to 2009. Ford C Series, 1957 to 1990.
Ford Cargo / CF Series, 1986 to 1997.
Ford H Series, 1961 to 1966.
AKA, two-story Falcon. Ford W Series, 1966 to 1977.
And Ford CL Series, 1978 to 1995.
For 1999, Ford briefly withdrew from production of medium-duty trucks.
For the 2001 model year, the company entered into a joint venture with Navistar International, the supplier of diesel engines, for 1-ton F-Series trucks, named Blue Diamond Truck Company LLC.
As part of the joint venture, sharing a common truck chassis, the two companies would produce medium-duty, Class 6 to 7, trucks in a Navistar facility in Mexico, with each manufacturer supplying its own powertrain and bodywork, with a Ford F-650/F-750 Super Duty and International 4000/Durastar sharing an assembly line.
In 2006, the joint venture debuted the Ford LCF/International City Star.
Using a modified F-Series chassis adapted to fit a Mazda Titan cab, the LCF was a low-cab forward truck that was sold through 2009. In Europe, Ford manufactures the Ford Transit Jumbo van, which is classed as a large goods vehicle and has a payload of up to 2,265 kilograms. There are options of a panel van, pickup or chassis cab.
The Ford Transit is also available as a light van, called the Ford Transit Connect, and the Ford Ranger pickup is available.
Ford manufactured complete buses in the company's early history, but today the role of the company has changed to that of a second-stage manufacturer.
In North America, the E-Series is still used as a chassis for small school buses, and the F-650 is used in commercial bus markets.
In the 1980s and 1990s, the medium-duty B700 was a popular chassis used by school bus body manufacturers including Thomas Built, Ward, and Bluebird. But Ford lost its market share due to industry contraction and agreements between body manufacturers.
Older bus models included.
Prior to 1936, Ford buses were based on truck bodies. Model T, 1930s.
Model T, 1920s.
And F-105 school bus. In 1936, Ford introduced the Ford Transit Bus, a series of small transit buses with bodies built by a second party.
Originally a front-engine design, it was modified to a rear-engine design in 1939.
About 1,000 to 1,200 of the original design were built, and around 12,500 of the rear-engine design, which was in production until 1947, rebranded as the Universal Bus in 1946. Rear-engine transit bus chassis model numbers: 09B/19B City Transit Bus, 1939 to 1941.
19B/29B City Transit Bus, 1941 to 1942.
49B/79B City Transit Bus, 1944 to 1947.
69B City Transit Bus, 1946 to 1947.
29B City Transit Bus, 1946 to 1947.
And 72T Transit Bus, 1944 to 1945.
After 1946, the Transit City Bus was sold as the Universal Bus, with a roof changed from fabric/wood to all metal. 79B Universal Transit Bus, 1946 to 1947. Succeeding the Ford Transit Bus was the Ford AM buses. 8MB Transit Bus with Wayne Works, 1948. Following World War II and from the 1950s onwards, Ford lost out to General Motors.
This led to the end of transit buses for Ford in North America.
B500 or B-Series, 1950 to 1990s, based on Ford F-Series truck chassis used by school bus body manufacturers. In Europe, Ford manufactures the Ford Transit minibus, which is classed in Europe as a passenger-carrying vehicle, and there are options of 12, 15, or 17 seaters.
In the past, European models included
EN
an 138,
and E-Series buses, Australia. The Henry Ford and Son Company began making Fords and tractors in Henry's hometown of Springwells, later part of Dearborn, Michigan, from 1907 to 1928, from 1919 to 1932 at Cork, Ireland, and between 1933 and 1964 at Dagenham, England, later transferred to Basildon.
They were also produced in Leningrad beginning in 1924.
Ford re-entered the tractor market in 1939 with the Ford M-Series tractors.
The Ford EN, introduced in 1947, became the most popular tractor of all time in North America.
Production of the M line of models ended in 1952. The Ford NAA tractor was introduced as an entirely new model in 1953.
It was a replacement for the Ford M-Series tractors.
Larger than the AN, with a 4-cylinder engine and streamlined styling. In 1986, Ford expanded its tractor business when it purchased the Sperry New Holland skid steer loader and hay baler, hay tools and implement company from Sperry Corporation and formed Ford New Holland, which bought out versatile tractors in 1988.
This company was bought by Fiat in 1993 and the name changed from Ford New Holland to New Holland.
New Holland is now part of CNH Global. Ford offers automotive finance through Ford Motor Credit Company. Ford's Fomoco Parts Division sells aftermarket parts under the Motorcraft brand name.
It has spun off its parts division under the name Visteon. We will continue about Ford in Part 5.